Hey Leos, this is Hal for HES Ultimage, and this is your divination forecast for the month of April. Hey guys, so I've got a lot of updates for you because I know there have been a few different questions when it came to March as far as why were the March videos so short, and what the hell happened to all the videos on my site. So I'm going to be covering those and also other updates. So if you're really antsy and just want to get into the reading, you can always fast forward and see when I'm holding up the cards and just kind of find where I start. But since I really haven't gotten a chance to speak to you guys, since I was going through a rough patch in late February into early March, I figured I would give you the input on all of that stuff that's been going on. So, to begin, what I was going through in late February into early March in particular, even though it was kind of like bookended, was a spiritual ascension. That's pretty much an evolution of my spiritual gifts and abilities. Basically, I wound up you know figuring out that like the manifestations of my abilities and their increase, because they were already increasing really rapidly, but now it's like I've been kind of kicked up into a new tier, and it became like a real overload, and I was like, okay, well basically I figured out that now I can actually channel spirit through my physical body like a normal medium. Before I finally came to terms with the fact I was an energy medium because I could feel spirit externally, I actually began to feel spirit internally through my body. And I actually learned how to do automatic writing. And actually, I could perceive the letters being written kind of as they were being written onto my mind, like a physical pen pressing against paper. And once I learned that, like, it was like an overload. I was doing it like way too much, and then it would start manifesting in really crazy ways because I was picking up so many channels and so many entities and sources that I couldn't even tell where the information was coming from anymore, and got really, really overwhelmed, and it was just like this big, crazy oversurge of energy. And I always jokingly say now, I was like Phoenix from X-Men, when she goes like, "I am Phoenix," and then like burns everything to like ashes, and then she collapses on herself. That's what I was going through basically. Um, but yeah, so I mean, now I'm connecting again to my natural abilities with like, feeling the vibrations and stuff. But down the line, I might, once I feel comfortable again, try and see how those new abilities could be applied in more constructive ways. Because it was kind of like, surprise! um, and that was pretty overwhelming. But basically, because then I was tanking my energy because of the overuse, and the first time it felt like my body was set on fire and I had to like revive myself from death, and the second time it was like my heart was being repetitively stabbed with a knife. So fun stuff. But yeah, so that period is over. But anyhow, as far as like why I removed the videos, it's like seemed like a good idea at the time. There's a little state of suspension during that period. Where I felt like so detached from, my ordinary self, because I neglected a lot of my meditation and my spiritual protections, and that's how all the extra stuff just piled onto me. It was like a dog pile of like spiritual energy that wound up messing up my chakras and stuff, and I had to do a whole like little cleansing thing, and I rebounded pretty damn quick, but yeah, so it was a lot, guys. But yeah, during that period, I removed the videos because I got rid of 2 decks that were only major onlys, but just weren't speaking to me anymore and weren't a part of my, especially the new energy I'm entering now, as we all enter new energy. So I actually got some new decks, which are super awesome and are very me. So so those are going to be what we're using this week, even though as we move forward, I'm just going to, mix them all together like I usually do. But all the ones you're seeing today are all new. Yeah, and I will be rebuilding the channel again. I'm gonna remove March and then just start fresh with April, because this is the push where we move forward into the new energy that I believe will be lasting the next 2 decades in particular, as I mentioned in the February videos. But anyhow, The other thing I wanted to touch on was I did refund some readings during this period. It was just a week's worth of readings. And I just wanted to say to those people, I'm sorry that I had to do that, but I believe very strongly in the ethics of what I do. And I couldn't have, in good conscience, have given you a reading that I knew that my energy was like going haywire and over the top, and it was just like, kind of getting in too much information from too many different places, too many cooks in the kitchen, kind of. So yeah, so those readings I did refund. Any other readings I did during that period, I was completely confident of because my energy was still in good places. But that one week in particular was just so intense that it was like I couldn't do anything. Um, but yeah, so to those people that I had to refund it, like know that it's not that I didn't want to do your reading, but it's just I couldn't have done it and felt good about it because I need to feel confident in my interpretations and my connection. But that said, if you ever do want to get a reading from me again, you can. I'm back to center. I'm back to 100%. And I know that I do readings in a way that nobody else does them. I know that my formats and styles are unlike anybody else because I do custom stuff that I've, created the spreads myself and or do a custom spread according to the question, which very few people actually do. So, I mean, I know that I do represent a unique perspective and a unique way of doing the work that I do. So, yeah, I mean, so I just wanted to touch on that and let you know, like, I am here for you if you do need me again, but just an apology for that because there was nothing else I could do during that point. I didn't even know what was happening to me. And even just to know how to cleanse myself out and all, I had a friend of mine and she helped me through it, and I'm internally grateful for that. And since she has a lot of Leo in her chart, I'm just gonna say thank you, Bonnie Albers, for helping me out during that period. It meant so much to me, and you're a very important person to me. All right. Anyhow, um, that said, we got a little sentimental there, bringing it back in. All right. So other things that I just wanted to give as general updates. Don't worry, we'll be getting to the reading, and if you're getting impatient, you can just fast forward over it. Um, my birthday just passed. It was March the 20th. Got to spend it with my brother in Colorado and with my family, so it was good because by then I was feeling really good and got to enjoy that time with my loved ones, which was great. And now going into something entirely different. For those of you that have been watching me for a long time, you're probably aware that before I was doing this work, I was actually planning a comic company. And I had done so much of the groundwork for it. And then upon my year's anniversary with my artist, she left me. And from there, I took a hiatus of it, and then at that point is when I kind of moved on with my life, and then I started doing this as part-time work, which is now my full-time job, actually, which I never got to make a formal announcement about, but yeah, I'm full-time now at this, so it's kind of awesome. And yeah, so within that period, I had done so much hard work. Like, I'm officially registered with the government. I do have this business. It's called Destiny Line Comics. It's not functioning at all, but I do have it. And during that period, I also got these merchandise first runs and samples, and one of which was these beautiful silicone and steel bracelets from China that I had imported. And they were made to my exact specifications, and it was a small company, uses very, pure materials, great quality. They were so attentive. They were so detail-oriented. They really focused on the quality. And at first I was just gonna hold these off until, the company thing could happen. And then after talking with one of my friends, she actually made me realize that because the bracelets have these bioelements that help balance your energy, like crystals would normally do, that I realized how perfectly relevant this was to what I'm doing now as well. And at the time, the bracelets, I just thought they were really cool. I didn't even think the bioelement thing was a big deal at all. I just wanted the bracelets, and that was a fun bonus. The other funny thing is the branding colors for my business are prism colors. And coincidentally, those are the same colors of the 7 chakras. So here we go. So I'm going to show you the bracelets because these are going to be offered through my website now. And yes, I will mail them to you. I'm not going to like email you the bracelet. They will be mailed to you physically because as people know, I email my readings. So yeah. So here we go. This is black metal because I had the metal colors create a contrast with the regular color again to my perfect specification. All right. Black metal, light blue, yeah, and red. There we go. Silver metal, dark blue, black, and green. Okay. Then gold metal, my personal favorite, violet, orange, and yellow. And the colors are showing up pretty well on this one. Some of the videos, they turned out looking lighter because of the auto lighting on my camera. But I will have pictures of the bracelets as well on my website, so you'll see exactly the correct shade of the colors. Oh, and here are the bioelements, because sometimes I forget to show those. It's like germanium, far infrared ray, tourmaline, and then one other thing that I forget. But I'll probably just write it on the website where they are. But yeah, so I am going to be offering those now, and they are just super boss cool bracelets, and they're super comfortable. They're perfectly adjustable, so if you have a teeny tiny wrist like I do, it'll fit you. And if you have like a giant wrist like my bestie has, they'll fit you too. So yeah, so there we have that. Don't worry, we're almost there. Quick springboarding off of that. If you are an artist or know an artist of considerable talent and ability who would be interested in collaborating with me to make this comic thing a reality, then do contact me through YouTube or through my website. With a standard contact form, it's cool. I don't care. They wind up in the same place, to be honest, through my website. And I monitor everything. I don't have a personal assistant, okay? It's coming directly to me. Because I haven't given up on this particular dream of mine, especially now that I do this full time, that I know that if I wanted to be able to make this comic thing happen, that I still do have enough time to try and do both. Yeah, so don't worry, I'm still doing this work. Like, don't freak out. I'm still gonna be doing this. But now that I have more time and I'm not doing a full-time office job, I have the luxury to think about sharing this other very special thing that I can do with people. And I'm a fantasy writer. That's the whole inspiration of why I wanted to start this company. My writing just happens to suit the comic genre well. And I write unlike anything else that I've really read. I'm very progressive with my style. I'm not traditional. And I know that the messages that I have in my stories are pretty powerful and unique and also really fun stories and like really unique and inspiring. So yeah, by all means, hit me up with that. And obviously, like until a physical comic would be produced, we wouldn't receive any payment. So I mean, it would have to be passion that really makes things happen until a physical comic was actually released, in which case then everybody would get compensation. But there we go. So got that out there. But anyhow, last thing. So videos will be back to their usual length. Yay! I might do weeklies again every once in a while. Not regularly, mind you, but if I find extra time, or if I feel like we just really need a message on a particular week, then I might start posting them again, okay, guys? And I know people missed those, and I know that they were pretty neat, and they were really cool, because I had no format. I would just pick up, like, 5 cards or symbols and just go with it. So it was a really fun thing to do, and I do kind of miss it. Because I would get my information from those two, and I did all 12 signs, so it was pretty heavy. It's a lot of work, but I figure if there are certain weeks that I feel like it calls for it, then I might post them up. But again, it wouldn't be regularly. That would be overkill, and I'd probably wind up you know, send myself into a big overhaul of being an overworking with that, and I'm already a workaholic, so so I'm gonna avoid doing regular weeklies. That would be like suicide. But just to say, they might pop up, so if you're subscribed, you'll see them, and if not, just check in. Maybe you'll get a surprise, you know, surprise message for the week. So, all right. And last, I did take down, you know, during that period, some of the educational and philosophical videos I had. I will be building those back up again. The crystal meditation ones in particular, I think, are important and an important resource for people. And like, I actually wound up saying the F word in the 2 most important videos in that series. So it's kind of good that I'll have to redo them so everybody can access and enjoy them. Because when I do that word, I have to self-censor, and then it takes it out of the main listings. And only people with accounts can view it. So it's better that everybody can get it. So, okay, here we are. We've arrived. We're going to do the reading now. All right. And you guys have a lot of cards here, okay? A lot of cards. So we're going to start with the general energy, but reaping, God, there must be like 8 cards in reap. Yes, there are 8 different cards in the reaping sector, guys. So it's going to be a big month for Leos. Oh my God. In general energy, you guys got friggin' Archangel Michael. Because that's been a pretty important part of my healing process when I was really getting into the rebound, so that's really auspicious, really great energy. Okay, so we've got a cycle here too, but this is the center of the general energy of the month of April for Leos. Michael Descent, joyful empowerment. Okay. Next one, Archangel Michael, eternal love and protection. All right. And I have to say, I love the artist rendition of Archangel Michael in this deck. It's like, looks like such a badass. Like, yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. Anyhow, though, but this is just at the core energy. We've still got our whole classic set yet to go. But Michael Descent, Joyful Empowerment shows me, again, and I'm getting this for everybody, April's a month of empowerment. It's a month where we finally get to reclaim our sense of self, our sense of power, our sense of control. Because shit has been out of control. Okay, guys? I know that more than anybody. Or equally as anybody. Because it's like I said, February into early March was crazy time. Mid to end March was healing time. April's when we push off into the new energy that I believe will be sustaining us for the next 2 decades. That energy of manifesting incredible things, more magic and spirituality in everyday life, etc. But yeah, and the eternal love and protection is showing me that concept that now we're moving past the hard stuff and back into the empowered stuff. But let's see what your cycle is. Wow, okay, and this is the cycle for April. So keep that in mind, that this is a cycle that, you know what, this is actually really important energy because it's showing why you need the core energy. We've got the grave and the snake. And it's so funny because these are the most, you know, the darkest cards of this particular deck. All the other ones are pretty sunshiny. So it does show me that you might still have certain shadows or doubts lingering in April. It's funny because the Virgos were another sign where I saw that you still might not be completely snapped out of things, in which case it's important to remember that if little doubts pop up or little moments where it's kind of like the devil on your shoulder where it's trying to tell you that, you know, the hard time isn't over yet or that you can't do something or anything like that, know that it's a passing sensation. It might pop up a few times in April, but know that it's not what's important. It's just meant to try and tempt or confuse you. It's not actually meant to be a reality. The grave is... okay, I'm getting this, sorry. Grave is showing me everything that has already served its purpose and what we need to move past. Because it's cycling with the snake now, I totally get this. because it's cycling with the snake. It has to do with the idea that you can't let the bullshit from the past denote your future. Accept that it's over and that it is the end. Accept the new energy. Because you can't stay in the old energy. Like, accept that the old energy is over, because you need to accept that life can be happy again. Because I know a lot of people have gone through very intense emotional or spiritual or philosophical, psychological challenges, okay? That was a lot of words. But it's important to know that it could have hit you in a number of different areas or different angles. I want you to just know it doesn't have to just be spiritual, it could be mental too. But seeing those again, no matter what kind of doubts, insecurities, or confusions, temptations, projections of fears or shadows, realize already that we're past it. Remember, this is the core. You know, the eternal love and protection, and the joyful empowerment. This is what you've got at the core. This is what really matters. The cycle is going to try and challenge you a little, but again, the cycle's only in April. So by the end of April, you're going to be done with this fear and questioning, okay? All right, moving on to your core energies here, the traditional, what we've got, and we're going to bring it all together. Energy surrounding you for this month. Oh, I love this. Now I'm going to have to please. It's so funny because when I saw the spread, I knew I was going to be talking to you guys about the same thing I talked to the Libras about. Poetics of light, creation. So now I'm going to have to do my spiel again. If you're a very talented artist or know somebody who is under the sign of Leo or Libra, because apparently that's another one, then you should probably contact me. Because it's a pretty auspicious one for April. For anybody who has creative, endeavors, and I am seeking someone with that, and you're getting the message from me, so. But yeah, if you haven't seen the intro and you're an artist or know someone who's a talented artist under the sign of Leo, then maybe you should check that out in the beginning of this video. But anyhow, bringing it back to everybody. Poetics of light creation, being in the energy surrounding you in April, shows me there's going to be powerful, it's like I was already saying, guys, powerful energy towards manifestation returning to us, particularly returning to Leos, okay? And I gotta say this again, don't underestimate your own ability to make things happen in your life again. We all felt really crippled or scared or overwhelmed in those prior months. Now is the time to come back into our own power and say, okay, life is good again, let's move forward. Move forward bravely, empowered, and within this new era that, again, I believe will be 2 decades forward, so it's going to be a long time, okay? Okay, next is energy you're bringing. Oh yeah, you got sacred convergence too. People are seeing a lot of this. God, and eternal flame images keep popping up because I've got another deck with eternal flame stuff. Okay. Energy you're bringing. Ancient of Days, the eternal flame. And sacred convergence. A lot of people are getting this one. And it's like I was saying, sacred convergence, it's the idea of the period we've already weathered, the challenges to our spirit, our psychology, our emotional sectors. Like, we really have to realize now how that was attributing to a better version of ourselves, okay? We all had to face those shadows, demons, etc. to move into the good energy now because it's had to awaken us to our own desires. Trust me, I felt this mad crazy. Eternal Flame shows me the endurance and the deeper significance of what your goals are and your determination towards them, okay? And again, I gotta bring this back. Poetics of Light creation shows me it probably has to do with something that you want to manifest. Again, that has to do with a spiritual epiphany that you've had now within this period. You know what? I'm going to keep going because we've still got a lot to look at. But remember, I have to come back to this because I was feeling it again. The joyful empowerment and the eternal love and protection, never forget that that is the core of what's happening this month. Again, remember, I know you might still have little challenges that pop up where you question yourself or where you're going, but it's important to let those things go and don't let the fears of the prior months follow you into this new stage. It's time for us to let go of them. By the end of April, I'm sure you'll be ready, but during April, I think you're going to be afraid that the monkey's still going to be on your back into May. No, it won't. Leave the monkey behind, okay? Reflection. It is so funny because this is one of the only cards in this deck that I have a hard time pronouncing. Give me a minute. This is new deck, people. Synchlotron. Infinite Possibility. Did better that time. And it's so funny. You guys are getting so many cards like the Libras. God. Like, it's making me think that maybe one of the people I'm meant to connect with is a Leo or a Libra right now. But anyhow, but I wouldn't know that. It would have to be you, right? Infinite Possibility being in your reflection. You guys are getting such a similar thing to the Libras. Has to do with the idea of not limiting yourself. In this case, it's about not limiting yourself to the fears that are trying to follow you from the past, okay? And again, I'm confident this was probably within that, like, 2-month period where we were being intensely challenged. You know what? I'm going to go right into action. You guys are getting so many of the Libra cards. It's insane. It's amazing. All right, here we go. Maitreya, Wisdom of the Ages. Paired with Abundance Mala, Prosperity. Okay? So here we go. Abundance Mala, Prosperity shows me you have a lot to start gaining even as early as April. Again, by committing to the creation or manifestation of the things that are resultant of your spiritual or emotional epiphany that you had in this prior cycle of the past 2 months. Okay, so like, if you had an epiphany where you're like, oh my god, I need to make a project, I need to create art, I need to create a relationship with somebody, or create a new opportunity for myself, or create a new home for myself. Whatever that major epiphany was, you need to start following through within April. And one of the most important parts, even more than following through, is releasing the fear and the doubt and the insecurity. That's the most important assignment for you in April. For Leos, beyond action towards your goal is the releasing of fear attached to your goal, okay? That is far more important. I don't want you to sidestep it. That is at the center of this whole damn reading. And already know you have all of the energy in your court to make everything go well. Damn it, guys. You have friggin' Archangel Michael in your court, okay? Can help a lot of good things happen. And also, very funny, but he's the one who helps release all of the negative entities, hooks, and fears, and all that other stuff. I mean, hello, I had to turn to him myself recently. And, you know, it helped. It released those binds. So the fact that you have him at the core, and you have the fears and, you know, worries and the hooks of the past circling it, means that you do need to release them this month, okay? But remember, you've got awesome energy around you moving forward from that process. And again, you've got the joyful empowerment at the center. It's going to help you through it, okay? But, you know, sometimes it's a matter of asking for help, too, and I know that very strongly now, too. All right. And Maitreya, Wisdom of Ages, is showing me when it comes to action, again, it has to do with this spiritual epiphany. Deep in your heart, you always know what's right. I always say we're programmed with our destiny like robots. Remember, this is also about eternal flame. It has to do with your deepest truth and the endurance of that level of truth and conviction. All right? So you need to take your desire seriously, because this is what the whole new era, new beginning with this push through April, even though the scary shit was really the beginning of this whole stage. So like February and March were the beginning of the stage, but we all had to have our epiphanies during that time and get the shit scared out of us to realize what was really important in life. Okay? Speaking from personal experience here. But yeah, so it's like now moving forward, you need to get back into your empowered self and leave the fears behind. Because now you've seen into the eye of the beast, so now you know what's important. Okay? All right. Reaping. There are tons of friggin' cards in Reaping. So give me a minute. I'm going to look at all of them. Oh, so cool. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Okay, sweet stuff. Okay, guys, so here we go. And it's funny cuz there's so many energies in here, and I know that I think I want to start with these and then that and then move on with it. Okay. Here we go, cuz we got 3 sets here. First one for Reaping. Lightship Earth, personal and planetary healing, paired with the Garden, no less. So this shows me the idea of, it's like I already said, the healing is already here for you. You're going to finish that healing process in April. Again, it's about releasing those fears, demons, shadows, etc. that are attached to your desires so that you can just move forward towards your desires empowered. And again, the Garden is showing me a sense of relaxation, of like, when in old movies like Gone with the Wind, where they would have the entr'acte and the intermission? The Garden is the entr'acte and the intermission. It's the idea that you can take a breather now. You can sit back and relax for a little bit because you need to regain your energy. Because it's like I was saying, the last leg of your healing process that was probably starting in March is finishing up in April, okay? And again, because you have personal and planetary healing, I feel like maybe the aspects, astrologically speaking, that were affecting Leos maybe more intensely than others. I don't look at my astrology regularly, so I wouldn't know. But it would suggest to me that that kind of energy that might have been hitting you harder is also going to be healed even beyond your personal level. But the cosmic span of what's been affecting all Leos. Okay. All right. Next one I'm going to do. Okay, give me a second. I gotta get these cards straight in my hand. The Mountain, paired with Oramasis, Purification, Fire. Yeah? Okay. So this is what this is showing me. And again, you guys are getting a lot of Libra-y cards. You and the Libras are sharing a very similar message. But anyhow, Oramasis, the purification of fire, whatever, through fire, shows me these are what you must finish dissolving. It's the idea of letting the fire engulf your past and engulf your fears and doubts that are trying to follow you into the future. The idea of purification of fire is the idea that you can just burn it away, and then through that, the rest becomes pure. Okay, guys? Really important. Because of the fact it's paired with the Mountain is showing me long-term goals and long-term aspirations. Okay? So it's the idea that if you want to get to the mountaintop, you must completely dissolve the chains of the past that bind you. And that's not to say you're supposed to just, like, you know, set a flame all of your bridges that connect you to anything of who you've been. That's how you've become wise. But the fears, the things that hold you back, that is what must be set aflame, as far as, like, through a spiritual perspective, through a mental perspective, not literally. I'm not telling you to do arson, okay, guys? I know you know that. That's a joke. But still, just going with it now. Like, the thing that you're setting aflame, it's the fears and the insecurities, the things that no longer serve you and hold you back from living life in the present. And that hold you back from trying to achieve something greater. And something greater that has to do with your deeper purpose. Because this is all about your deeper purpose, your destiny that you're programmed with like a robot that, you know, as humans, we try and override, but you can't override it. When you try and override it, you just become miserable because you realize that you're moving in the wrong direction. The way you move in the right direction is by always trusting what's truly in your heart and in your soul and in your gut, okay? That's how it works. It's as simple as that. And, you know, people in the past who went against that could have found ways of getting rewarded, but in the next phase of this 2 decades, it's not going to work that way. So that's why it's so important that you honor your incarnation, that you honor, you know, your heart truth, because that's what it's all about, guys. Coming up, like, you know, now we're already in it, but it was kind of like the fear periods were meant to show us what that actual truth was that gives us our direction. Alrighty, one more set, guys. Alrighty. The bouquet. The house. There are 4 of these, mind you, all paired together. The Orion Gate. Service. And Healing Angel Peace. Alright? Bringing them all together for you, because I can barely hold these all at the same time. Hold on. Yeah, that's not going to work. But that's going to work. I did it. It's like chewing gum and walking. Alright, I managed to hold all 4 cards at the same time. So get a gander of those. I'm going to break them down one by one. Alright. Bouquet is about something being bestowed upon you. That's a part of your reaping. That's great energy. Showing you're going to be given something. In this case, the idea of the peace and the healing is a big part of your package because, again, the whole point is to overcome your bindings that are trying to follow you but will not follow you because you've already got the good energy in your court. Okay? So always remember, even if it's popping up, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. Just hit the mole under, another one might pop up, you just hit that one, okay? It's not gonna have to be lasting beyond April, okay? Just keep hitting the moles down and eventually you win the game, okay? High score. Alright. Next one's the house. That shows me your grounding and your security. Service is really important now. This is a really important card in general. This plays out a few different ways. Service represents your connection to other people and how you serve other people and how you serve the world. You know what? I got to bring back Healing Angel because this is now becoming a big part of what you're going through. Because these 2 are together, paired with the bouquet and the house, remember, house is your rooting. You're going to be finding more rooting by committing to that path. The path has to do, one more time, guys, say it with me, with your destiny, with your soul's ambition, with your higher truth, okay? You can begin embarking on that path now, or maybe in May, if that's when you're more comfortable. Depends when you're done with your game of whack-a-mole, right? I just love that analogy. I know there was a gator one, too, that I really liked, where the gators would pop out of the hole. You can think of that one, too. I forget what it was called. But anyhow, Healing Angel Peace paired with the service. The Healing Angel concept is way stronger because it's showing me what can be your greatest contribution to society. That is where the Orion Gate of Service comes in. What can be your greatest contribution to society? I believe you must have already glimpsed this to some extent, or that the fear that you'd held or the shadow that you saw that was involved in this very deep moment of fear and questioning that so many went through has awakened us to understanding what we need to do to make our life worthwhile. And again, I'm coming back to the bouquet. Bouquet is something that's bestowed upon you, and in this case, it might be something you're bestowing upon somebody else. Okay, so it's like giving is a big part of what results from the energy of this month. What can you give others, and what can others give you, and what can you all give the world? Because that's the biggest thing. So once you dissolve those fears and, set the fears and the bindings and the hooks within you that hold you to the past ablaze, that is when you can step into this new energy of knowing, how can I make the world a better place through even, it doesn't even have to be philanthropic or with a nonprofit or volunteering. It can just be, how can I make the world a better place through art or through creative endeavors or through sharing myself with other people in general. It takes many different forms. Don't think it's just one thing, guys. It all has to do with whatever the epiphanies have been within the past 2 months that can help give you that clarity. And trust me, if the clarity is not there yet, it will be a result of you knocking out those fears within April. Okay, guys? And again, like, if you're an artist or know someone under the sign or chart of Leo who's an artist, then chances are they might be a pretty good person for me. So again, if you want to look into the intro, go ahead. That said, I do personal readings. If you want one, hit the link below. Hope you do. Hope you get a Destiny Line bracelet. Just kidding. But if you do like them, by all means, do get one. They are pretty awesome. And I will see you guys later.